The effort, I mean, you guys outshot them heavily, but in the end just weren't able to get that goal at the key time.
Yeah, we played a good game. Did some good things. You just got to bear down our chances. I know we had a fair amount, and let's credit to Anderson. He played well.
Could you tell that they were a little bit galvanized by that whole situation? That's a tough thing to see a teammate go through. Could you tell they really wanted to dig deep, if you will, for their goaltender?
Yeah, that's what a team's all about. When one guy is in a situation, and obviously it's a terrible thing that's going on, and their team battled hard and pulled out a great game for them.
In terms of playing from behind, it's been, I think, 3 or 4 games since you guys have actually had to play from behind. A little bit different feel out there when you guys are trying to come from behind.
No, not really. Tonight's game was so tight, and you just keep going. We were one shot away all night, and yeah.
And a few chances on the power play in the first, power play chance in the fourth. I'm sure you guys like to have one of those opportunities back, maybe capitalize.
Yeah, you said it yourself. That's a good point. Yeah.
Read that.
Yeah, not only the power play, but we had trouble getting through the neutral zone. Well, not even the neutral zone, but around our blue line. We turn pucks over. They play a different system that we weren't. We knew it was there. We just couldn't get around it. I liked our pushback at the end, but we just need a little finish around the net. I think that would have, gone a long way. They do a good job of trying to keep you to the outside, and we had trouble getting. I shouldn't say the initial shot because we got a lot of shots, but the second and third chances around the net, and that's kind of what killed us.
In the first on those 3 power plays, didn't generate a lot of shots. Todd had mentioned earlier that guys still looking for the kind of perfect play on the power play.
Yeah, absolutely. We looked good. We just didn't do anything. We had possession of the puck. We were snapping it around, but at some point you got to get it to the net, and you got to get second and third chances around the net. That's just what I talked about. 5 in our 5-and-5 games could be the same in our power play.
Now the month is over. Now you head into November on Tuesday in Toronto, and I know you guys talk about the importance of getting off to a good start. Well, I know it kind of feels bad that you lost the last one, but 7-2 in October, best start in a long time. Feeling good about yourself going on a long road trip?
Yeah, we're a confident team. We're pissed off we let this one get away. But we're going to have some good teams to face here in this road trip coming up. So we've been good on the road as of late, and to start the season here. So we want to continue to play that way.
Anderson played like a guy who had a lot to prove tonight with his wife Nicole.
Yeah, that's our whole team here feels for him. So it's a pretty amazing. He got out there today and posted a shutout. Congrats to him for sure.
Pat, another tight game, maybe frustrating. Could get the offense going. I know Craig Anderson had a situation that team wants to play well for him. How tough was it offensively for you guys to get prime scoring opportunities tonight?
Yeah, I think it was just one of those nights. We needed some guys tonight, and I was one of them to step up and get some offense going. You just take this one away. They played good. I think we had our opportunities to score, but it's the end of the month now. Now we move on. Now we move on to November, and we focus on November. We had a really good start. We talked about having a good start, so we got to continue that and carry that over to, in Toronto, and just keep playing hard and playing for each other in here.
What does a 7-2 month do for you guys? Because you mentioned how good it's been, but what does it do for the confidence and the way this team's starting to? Seems like it's believing in itself.
Yeah, we are believing in ourselves. Tonight was a tough match. Ottawa's a really good team. The neutral zone's really good, and we didn't really have our cycle game tonight. We didn't really have the big guys. Really protecting pucks, including myself. So I think it was just one of those nights, and you learn from it and you move forward. And we got the month of November now to feed off what we did in October. So that's what we look forward to.
A lot of home games in October. Now it's a lot of away games in November. Is it kind of a good time to get away and get the group together and be on the road together for a bit?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great test for us. these are going to be hard games coming up. So, we just got to look forward to it. Guys are excited to get on the road and, and starting to play. So we're excited, and we're looking forward through a really good test for us moving forward.
Absolutely, I think you couldn't really feel it to the gravity that it was until the final whistle was over and the game was over, and we accomplished a great game, led by Andy. He came here yesterday, and that was it, and we all knew about it, and obviously he held a strong face, but you could still see the pain in his eyes, and he came in here and really led by example. He didn't say much. He did the same thing, his same routine, and he really showed what a true leader was, and I think each and every individual in here really today, did whatever we could to make sure that he didn't have anything else to think about, but he did a hell of a game himself, and probably, got us 2 points, even though we played a good game.
Can you share what the emotions were like in this locker room following the game?
Tough, very tough. I've said it before, we play a great game of hockey. We have a lot of people that depend on us. We get paid a lot of money, but at the end of the day, it's just a sport, and life is a lot bigger than this, and sometimes things like this happen, and it makes you take a step back and realize that this is not all that we do, and it's definitely something that we're not used to dealing with, and it's very tough, and I don't think that anyone can really understand what they're going through. All we can do is show up every day and be there for him in any way we can, and that's by being as normal as possible.
What do you say as a teammate to that player? Does the people talking to him before the game, after? Do you leave him alone? How do you handle that?
Every individual is different. I think, as I said before, he came here, he did the same routine, he did the same things. Obviously, there's a big black cloud there, but you try and not poke it too much and touch about it. It's up to him whether he wants to talk about it or not, and same thing moving forward. It's going to be on their terms. There's nothing we can say or do or really, put ourselves in their perspective 100%. As I said, all we can do is be ourselves and be ourselves to the fullest and do the best that we possibly can in a normal manner. And we're all there for him, and whatever he needs, we're going to do it. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything that you can say that can really, fix anything.
This is one to remember.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty emotional night. Everything that's been going on with this group. Coming in here facing one of the best teams in the league at the moment was a big task for us. Everyone in here was ready to take them on, and we played a solid game, and obviously Andy coming back and helping this team out is a pretty cool story.
What does that mean to this team, the way he performed here tonight?
He's a huge part of this team, and for him to come back and stand on his head like that, at the end of the day, we're family in here, and there's nothing more that we could have done than play like we did tonight and play for him.
How satisfying was it for you to get the goal?
Yeah, for sure. It feels nice to get the first one out of the way. The toughest part of the last couple of games is trying to stay patient and stick with it, because sometimes when things aren't coming, you change the way you play, you change things, start cheating. But I just tried to worry about getting shots on net, and eventually they're going to go in.
We're going to write that one like that was a whole team playing a game for their.
Yeah, well, we expected that from that team. They're proud players, and they're going to play that way for a teammate. He had an exceptional night. I didn't think we made it real hard on him in and around the paint. He was able to see the puck and able to not really give up any secondary chances, and that's a lot to do with their team, but also a little bit to do with ours. So it's something we have to clean up. No, our power play was not good at all, and I look at our first period, I'm not sure we were really ready to go. We won 11 of 14 face-offs and had 6 full minutes of power play and ended up with 7 shots on goal. That's not a good recipe. We kind of looked good doing nothing in the offensive zone. We moved it around. We got into the zone, but we had no substance on it, no attack, and no tenacity to recover pucks. That showed up later on in the third period when we were a little more desperate, but you need that early. You can't wade your way into a game like that. Yeah, just to, we needed some better performances from some individuals. It's a long year. You're going to have some ups and downs, and when people aren't going good, you try and shuffle them around and find 3 or 6 or 9 guys that are capable of clicking and getting something done, and we couldn't do that tonight.
Wednesday, you said your power play was just still looking for the 30 passes. That same thing you saw tonight, just not urgency. What was lacking from your power play?
Well, the urgency for me to begin with. That happens. I think when you get repetitive power plays early in a game, you can get comfortable. And it wasn't like, we couldn't enter. We felt good because we were in their zone, but we looked good doing nothing. And there's no better way to put it. We were a little bit slow on recovery. We looked for the nice play instead of taking the shot and retrieving and getting pucks back. We didn't get pucks through on our shots, which is a little bit concerning for me, but we'll work on it. Yeah, in the first two, they were stripping pucks and they had some things on the goal. Unfortunately, they couldn't finish, but they did have a little momentum and a little pop in them. The other lines, not so much. And then when we shuffled things around, found a few more players, but just not enough. Yeah, we talked about it before the game. It was a huge mistake, a mistake that they didn't make, and if they did, they found a way to get out of it. But we talked particularly about that situation, and we got burnt on it. So we weren't capable of grasping the concept and putting it into play on a consistent basis, and that's a team that has still a lot of growth in front of them. No, I've been asked that question about our goaltending situation, about Benning, Puljujarvi a little bit, about Slepyshev. We had a winning formula going until tonight, so we weren't changing it. We felt good about everybody. Nobody was tired. That's how it is in the National Hockey League. And if you're not playing, you better be working hard in practice. You better be attentive in meetings. You better be prepared to go when your name is called. As we go forward now, we haven't played a set of back-to-backs. We haven't been on the road very much. That will change, and we'll have to get fresh people in and out. But our team isn't tired, I can tell you that. There's no excuse there.
You talked about needing a good start in the month of October. 7-2, probably very happy with. So now you head on the road for 5. What do you feel is going to be that challenge on that 5-game road trip for you to ensure that your team maintains when you start?
Well, daily. We're not going to wrap it up in one big clump. We're going to go day by day. And tomorrow we'll get on a plane and we don't practice because we've got to travel out east. We'll get on a plane and we'll sit with groups of individuals, work with their lines, work with the power play, try and get a practice in without even skating. And then we'll take it one game at a time. I was asked this morning, what do you want to improve on? We're 9 games in, and we're not the Stanley Cup champs, so how about everything? That's the best way to put it, and then that'll be our approach on the road.
Put into your words this game here tonight.
Emotional, I think, is one word. Leaving the X's and the O's and everything else aside, it was an emotional night for us as a team, and what Andy did tonight was pretty incredible to be around. It was a fun game to be a part of.
He held it together. It was great in the game, but then you can kind of see at the end, the weight came off a little bit.
Yeah.
It was pretty emotional at the end.
Yeah, he was, and rightfully so. And the way he held it for 60 minutes, got through it, and pitched back-to-back shutouts speaks to his character, and rightfully so that he should be overwhelmed at the end, because the room was as well.
That's good for me.
All right.
That was hard, especially when you got close to Andy and saw that he was getting a little emotional and had some tears. So, anytime you see a brother like that start to cry a bit and feel emotional, you feel for him, and I think it kind of just goes through the whole locker room. And coach afterwards wasn't any different. He was pretty emotional as well, and man, that felt so good to get that for him. And he deserved it. He did it, and he stood on his head, and he was fantastic.
Cam Talbot stays on the ice to cheer him. The fans give him a nice ovation. It's kind of a
Really,
hockey community.
really classy. They have fantastic fans here, obviously, and to see an opponent stay out there and show some respect as well is huge. And always nice to see some good sportsmanship out there.
It was special for our goaltender, his family, his wife, our players, and I thought I really respected the fact that the Oilers organization and their players and their fans showed a lot of respect and support. And I mean, we love hockey; it's a great game, but there's things that are bigger, and I think there's a lot of people that showed that tonight.
You can see the emotion that happened at the end of the game. How impressive is it? I mean, you held it together. That entire game was so focused, and obviously there was a lot of emotion there.
Yeah, you know, when you look at this game, it's obviously the players want to play for Craig and his family, and we usually get a lot of shots, and I think the players wanted to defend so well. I think that was the whole mindset, and we could hear our offensive players the whole game on the bench talking about defending and paying the price and making sure that we weren't giving any freebies. And you know, as the game went on, you were watching Craig, and you just couldn't help but being inspired by by him.
What was it like on the bench, Coach, in the final few minutes, few seconds, going through all of that?
Honestly, I think very focused. Very, very focused, very dedicated. I think this team has lived quite a few things since the beginning of the year. And to be able to rally like that shows a lot of character. You want to play for somebody, you want to play for a cause. But in the end, I think the players also played for themselves, and it's a special night where you get the result going your way on top of it. So I'll be honest with you, I'm speechless. It's one of those special moments.
Great. Oh.
Yeah, ouais, c'est un effort exceptionnel. C'est un effort aussi de notre équipe, des joueurs, étaient extrêmement dédiés à la cause, extrêmement dédiés à bien défendre. C'est pour ça aussi qu'on était un petit peu, pas nécessairement sur les talons, mais je pense qu'on avait assez peur de lancer puis d'avoir des revirements qu'on a lancé beaucoup moins que d'habitude. Par contre, on avait vraiment une attitude axée sur la défensive. C'est la première fois que je vois les joueurs aussi dédiés que ça à parler seulement que défensive tout le long du match. Puis c'est très important pour nous c'est pas juste un moment spécial, je pense, côté émotionnel, mais c'est un moment important pour notre équipe d'apprendre à gagner des matchs d'un but d'écart. Alors, il y a eu beaucoup de spécial aujourd'hui.
Au but de McLaughlin.
Oui, en plus, je pense que Mike a eu son premier but, un gros soulagement. Je pense que ça a soulevé l'équipe aussi. Tout le monde sait que Mike a eu beaucoup de chances depuis le début depuis le début de la saison, excusez. Et puis, je pense de voir que lui réussit aujourd'hui dans un match aussi important que ça pour nous, de sortir aussi fort que ça. Puis ensuite, après ça, parler de défensive tout le long du match, ça en disait beaucoup sur la cause.
Great. Thanks very much, Coach.
Thank you, guys.